Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my friends and family on Facebook. How are you all doing this morning? Such a great morning to be alive, such a great day, such a great moment to be alive. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you're all coping and doing something about our situation that we have got going on right now. But otherwise, it's a real pleasure for me to be able to share some words of encouragement today. Uh, this morning, I've titled or I'd like to be able to give some advice to dads, or my ultimate advice for dads. As I was researching this topic, having a good think about it, I came across an article that I'd also like to share that I feel will really add value to a lot of us. So it's not just coming from me, as from one dad to the many of you, but also from other dads as well who have been very successful in their family life as well as their business life. So this is taken from, and you can look this up later on, but Inc.com on May 22nd published this, did an interview on 28 successful executives that shared their best advice that they received from their dads. So here goes. My ultimate advice for dads. Surround yourself with great people. I'm sure you all know how important that is. Take things one step at a time and everything else will fall into place. That just makes sense, doesn't it? Just take things one step at a time and everything else falls into place. We are the average of the people we spend most of our time with. And that's so true, guys. You know, our company, the company that we keep, really tells us a lot about who we are. Your name is all you have, so protect it. And that's so true, isn't it? Your name is all you have, so protect it. You'll be happier professionally if you love life. That's pretty good advice, isn't it? Every stranger can teach you something. A lot of times we tend to prejudge people based on how they look or based on, without realizing that they could also contribute something worthwhile to our lives, even at that moment. Character counts, and that's so true, guys. That's one hard lesson I've had to learn, and it's a learning process. Always do your best. As dads, I guess that's something we always tell our children. I think it's time that we also take that take that on board as well. Always do your best, no matter what task you're given. Be grateful and humble in whatever role you're tasked with. That just hits home for me in a lot of areas. To be grateful and humble in whatever role. Wherever you go in life, there you are. I like this one because, there's no right or wrong way to get to where you are going. You just always have to remember that you can pivot or adjust to be able to continue down that path or up that path. Everyone puts their pants, I love this one. Everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do. I had a manager once before, Andrew Mack, and he always said something very similar to this, that you are no better than anybody else, and everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. So everyone has the same opportunity, everyone has the same struggles, everyone's the same. Here's another advice from these successful fathers. Leave it better than you found it. That's pretty cool. I love that. Leave it better than you found it. A lot of us can really, relate to that. Kindness and generosity go a long way. Kindness and generosity go a long way. That's so true. You know, before I used to get really upset at the people who'd come around to beg. I'd get really upset because, you know, I always think like, you know, they have 2 arms, 2 legs, so do I. I've made my choices, so have they. But you know, you don't know what the other person is going through. And whatever they're going through, it's not for us to judge. And so I really had to learn that lesson. So here's another advice from these successful fathers to us fathers here. Think big, act with humility, and give it everything you have. I really can identify with that. I hope you can too. You know, think big, act with humility, and give everything you have. That's pretty cool. I love that. Some more advice, of course, from these successful fathers. Break up tense situations by being playful. I think I'm okay in this area, but you know, sometimes I don't. I think I do, but no, not really. Now that I think about it, at times, you know, sometimes us dads, you know, like we think we're good in in a certain area, but you try and bring that sort of skill home, and it just doesn't work at home, you know. So you know, sometimes when you and me and my wife are having a bit of an argument, and it's really, I'm like having a listen to this advice about break up those tense situations by being playful. And sometimes when you're in the heat of things, it can be a bit, you know, you don't think of. So it's really good to be able to get this advice from these successful dads to us dads here on my Facebook. Business is a team sport. Every employee is important to the success of every company. And that's so true. Business is truly a team sport. And I'm sure you guys can all testify to that. You know, everybody just does their bit and it really contributes to the whole team. Always shine your shoes. I love this one. Always be prepared, you know, always be in ready mode. Most of us went through scouts when we were younger, and so, you know, always shine your shoes, always have them ready, always be ready. And I remember even Lao Tzu says something very similar. The will to prepare is greater than the victory of battle, or something of that sort. But you can never get to the victory of battle if you're not prepared. Hi, Virginia. And of course, a few more advices from our successful fathers to us fathers here. Every note, make sure every note counts. So a lot of musicians will easily identify with this. Every note counts, you know, for the music, for us to hear the music, you gotta have every note in place, played at exactly the right time, with the right tempo, with the right tone, and so every note counts. So everything that we do. Another mentor of mine, Halton Buggs, says something similar. He says, how you do anything is how you do everything. So I really appreciate that advice. And another advice from some of these successful fathers go like, stay focused, determined, and complete things. Stay focused, determined, and complete things. Oh man, I struggle with this, you know, quite a lot. Not completing my jobs. And so I think for us fathers, especially at home, you know, I always do only the small dishes and then leave the big dishes to my wife. So I think it's because I used to justify that by saying that, you know, because the other pots are still full and they're usually the last ones to eat. And so, man, anyway, some great advice coming here from these successful fathers. Attitude is everything, and that's so true. Hey Arisi, good morning. Attitude is everything. Oh my God, I can't emphasize this enough. Attitude is everything. I always tell my children this, and I'm always aware of my, even my attitude in most areas of my life. But attitude is everything, guys. And it's really important for us fathers to cultivate that attitude within us, so that it really shows to our children. Be generous, man. This is something that be generous. Sometimes being generous, maybe we think, of giving of our time or giving of our money. I think that's so true. I think even more so is when you don't have time and you don't have money. And I think for me, that's how that speaks to me in terms of being generous. Some people say you can't give what you don't have, but what you don't have, what you think you don't have, that's the area that I feel that we always have something. We always have something to give, and we'll never be in any situation of lack or any situation of not being able to give something. As long as we got the breath of air, breath of life, we can always give something. Here's another awesome advice, and just a few more, then I'll wrap up with my own advice. Always try to approach conversations with the end goal in mind. And that's... Hey Eddie, here's another advice coming from another successful father, Ed Jennings, a battle-hardened warrior. SEAL once said, if you want to make a difference in the world, start by waking early and making your bed. I totally agree with that, brother. Totally agree with that. That is so true. Hey, thanks for that comment. Thanks for sharing. That is so true. If you want to make a difference in the world, get up in the morning. Start by waking up early and making your bed. That is so true. Thank you very much, Eddie, for that. Appreciate that. More advice for us fathers from other successful fathers. Always try to approach... I just did that. Respect others. That's so important. Never give up. That's really important. Never give up. Be industrious in whatever you do. That's so true, guys. Be industrious in everything you do. No one will ever do your work for you. Man, haven't we learned that? Keep a healthy balance, which is very important. Very important. For a lot of us fathers, we think that, our work outside of our home is enough. My mom used to say that, your job never ends just because you bring home the money. So, we got to take the lead even at home. And the last two, of course, is learn to sell what you love. That's important. That's really important. Hey, Tavita. Hey, Dels. How are you, bro? All right. And of course, my ultimate advice for dads is the last one, and that's from me, and that you're more than just a paycheck. You're more than just a paycheck. Man, guys, a lot of times, a lot of us fathers, we box ourselves up in that role of thinking that we are just to provide for our families. We're to go out there and work. My mom told me many, many times, and she said that your work does not end when you bring home that check. That's pretty much the beginning of where you work. First thing in the morning to do your home chores, then go do your job, come back and continue on with your home chores. And and all these years I've been pursuing a good career, pursuing, the money. And one thing I had really, really missed out on was just being there for my children, being there for my wife. And it's really come around to bite me. And if any advice that I could give you fathers out there is really make the most of your time at home. You will never ever come across a time like this ever in your lifetime. So now that you have this chance to really bond again with your wife and your family, your children, This time will never come back, guys. Don't you worry about the money, or don't you worry about where your next food is going to come from. For us that are Christians, you know that verse very well that talks about how God looks after the birds of the air and the oxen of the field, and yet He considers us far, far above them. And who are we to question His faithfulness to us? So guys, stop worrying about the money and start focusing on being of value right at home with your children and with your wives. Because there will come a time that if you don't look after that well, you will be alone. And it's not fun being alone, even though you're doing it for the right reasons or however you justify it. So a few months ago, on my on my journey to try and get better at what I do, I completely forgot about keeping, because I was so focused on trying to provide for my family. I was so focused on trying to pursue this dream of being a success at the work I do, to provide for my kids. Sometimes we can take those good reasons and it can turn into it could have a negative effect if we don't have the balance in our lives. And now I'm trying to backtrack and trying to get back to trying to reconnect with my daughter. And that has its challenges, of course, because she has her reasons, so have I. But I'm the adult here, and I'm supposed to be the one to have that balanced mindset and all the rest of the stuff that goes with the expectations of being a father. And so if there's ever one advice that I'd like to give any of you guys out there, it's you're more than just a paycheck. Always remember that. Your kids will never remember about the fancy car or the big house, any of that. They'll only remember that time that you spent with them. And also when they come to realize the time that you didn't spend with them. So make this time count, guys. All the best, and see you on the next video. Okay, if I can just turn this off. Anyway, while I'm here, I'll do a bit of a shout out. Hey Tevita, how are you, bro? Hey Delay Clark, how are you, Thaddeus? All the way from the USA, Florida. Nice to have you, bro. Hi Virginia, it's pull to everybody in that weird street you guys live in. It's such a nice area. Bring them on camera. Oh, okay. Virginia, good morning, darling. Good morning. Orisi, how are you? Thank you, Orisi. Good on you too, bro. And thanks, Eddie, for that awesome advice. I really love that. Yep, absolutely. Tevita, Delai, Orisi, yes, bro. We give joy and encouragement, which is not in monetary terms. That's right. Yeah, just being there and making your presence felt. Absolutely. Totally agree. Hey, thanks guys for commenting. Feel free to comment even though you watch on replay. And don't forget, if you find good value and like to see my future videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next videos. And I've been trying to turn this thing off. Hi Maria.